In a world just overflowing with information, it really feels like we're drowning sometimes, doesn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Information overload is real.
How do you quickly, zero in on what's truly important, separate the facts from the nuances, make sense of really dense text without feeling completely overwhelmed?
Yeah, it's a challenge.
We've all been there, I think, staring at a huge stack of documents, just wishing for some kind of shortcut to understanding.
A magic wand, maybe?
Exactly. Well, today we're doing a deep dive into precisely that skill set. We're looking at it through the lens of a pretty critical test for healthcare professionals, the OET Reading subtest.
Okay, the OET.
But don't let the test part fool you. The strategies we're about to unpack, they're incredibly valuable for anyone, really, who needs to get well-informed quickly in pretty much any field.
That's a great point. These are transferable skills.
We've taken a close look at excerpts from OET Reading, Strategies for Success. And our mission today isn't just, telling you what the strategies are. It's more about uncovering the hidden wisdom behind them, those aha moments that make complex info feel, manageable, maybe even intuitive.
Looking for those clever shortcuts and mental hacks. I like it.
Yeah, the things that really set information experts apart. So, start off, let's get the lay of the land. The OET Reading subtest, it's a 60-minute journey.
60 minutes total.
And it's broken into 3 distinct parts. Each one is designed to test how well you locate, understand, and interpret written healthcare texts.
Locating, understanding, interpreting. Key skills.
Definitely crucial for healthcare settings, yes, but also, honestly, a masterclass in processing information efficiently.
It really is.
And just mechanically, all questions are multiple choice or gap fill, and you write your answers right on the question paper itself.
Good to know. No separate answer sheet hassles.
Okay, so let's unpack this first section, Part A. Think of it like an emergency room for information. Speed and precision are everything. Totally. You get 4 short healthcare texts. Could be guidelines, drug info, discharge summaries, maybe policy docs.
The kind of stuff you see every day in practice.
Exactly. And you have just 15 minutes. 15 to answer 20 questions.
Wow, okay. That's less than a minute per question. Definitely need that shortcut.
You really do. This part, it specifically tests your skimming ability, reading fast for the main idea, and scanning, hunting for specific details, keywords.
Skim and scan. Got it.
And just identifying details accurately. The questions vary too. Matching, maybe which text talks about dosage, or short answer like what condition needs this drug, or even sentence completion.
So a mix of finding specific facts and understanding context quickly.
Precisely. Now the strategy here is very specific, almost like a drill. First 2 minutes, you spend that skimming all 4 texts.
Just 2 minutes for all 4.
Yep. Goal is just to ID the purpose and format. Like, okay, text B looks like a dosage table, text D is some kind of policy summary. Note the headings, bold terms, the overall structure, get the shape of it.
Okay, a quick overview. Makes sense.
Then comes the scanning. You read the question first, find the keywords, nouns, numbers, names of conditions.
Focus on the target.
Then use those keywords, or maybe synonyms, to scan the texts rapidly. And here's the crucial advice, maybe a bit counterintuitive. Avoid reading full paragraphs. You're hunting for facts, not reading for pleasure.
Right. Laser focus. Don't get drawn into reading everything. It really strikes me how much these strategies mirror what busy professionals actually do, or should do.
Right.
If you think bigger picture, mastering this isn't just for a test score. It's about pulling out critical data efficiently when the pressure's on.
In those high-stakes environments you mentioned.
Exactly, and it taps into how our brains filter information too. Focusing on keywords helps cut through the noise. It's a really powerful technique.
That's a great connection, and maybe we can make it concrete. Like, imagine a question asks, which text mentions side effects associated with beta blockers? You wouldn't read every word. You'd scan for adverse effects, beta blockers, or maybe unwanted reactions.
Keywords or close synonyms.
Exactly. And the source material we looked at indicates text C would be the answer there. It's a perfect example of that targeted information retrieval. Saves time, potentially saves lives.
Definitely critical in healthcare.
But it's not always just about facts, right? Sometimes you need the intent behind a message.
Okay. Moving beyond just data extraction.
Yeah, that brings us to Part B. We're shifting gears a bit.
Yep.
Here you tackle 6 short workplace texts, maybe 150 words each.
Shorter texts now.
Things like memos, emails, maybe new protocols, staff notices, that kind of thing.
Internal comms.
Right. And for each short text, just one 3-option multiple choice question. But here's the catch. Part B shares its 45 minutes with Part C.
Oh, okay. So you need to budget your time carefully between B and C.
Exactly. Time management is key. This part, Part B, digs deeper. It's about understanding the main point, the purpose, maybe the writer's attitude or tone, spotting those subtle implications.
Getting the gist, as they say. Yeah, that sounds straightforward, but why is understanding the gist actually so important in these workplace texts?
That's a really good question. I think because in a real healthcare setting, grabbing the core message of a quick memo or an email fast is crucial for, well, knowing what to do, for compliance, for action.
Right. Misinterpreting the purpose could lead to errors.
Absolutely. So the strategy for Part B is pretty clear-cut. Read the question stem first. That focuses your reading.
Know what you're looking for before you read.
Then read the whole text, but just once, carefully. Pay attention to things like modal verbs must, should, might they often signal importance or obligation.
Tone is important too, I imagine.
Definitely. And often, check that final sentence. It frequently wraps up the main point.
Good tip. The conclusion often holds the key.
Then, the final step is elimination. Knock out the 2 distractor options that clearly aren't supported by what you just read.
Process of elimination. Classic test strategy.
Let's try a quick example. Say there's a memo from a senior nurse. It reminds staff that the Sharps bins need changing when they're 3/4 full, not overflowing.
Okay, common issue.
And it says every change needs to be logged. If the question is, what is the purpose of this message? The right answer would be something like to remind staff of disposal protocols, not, say, to describe how to clean the bins or to introduce a new bin supplier.
Right. It's about the core purpose, the reminder about protocol, not the other details mentioned. Makes sense.
Okay, now for what you might call the main event, the heaviest lifting. Part C.
The long texts.
Exactly. This is where you face 2 longer texts, maybe around 800 words each, usually on general healthcare topics.
So more like reading an article or a detailed report.
Precisely. And each of these long texts comes with 8 multiple choice questions. And remember, this shares the 45-minute block with Part B.
Right, so roughly 20-odd minutes per text and its questions. That requires focus.
It really does. Part C challenges you on recognizing how an argument is structured, understanding inferred, meaning what's not explicitly stated,
Reading between the lines.
and identifying the writer's opinion or potential bias.
Yeah, and this is where that critical thinking really kicks in, isn't it? These are the exact skills you need for interpreting complex research papers or, say, dense policy documents.
For sure.
Where it's not just about what's stated, but what's implied, what's the author's angle. That's crucial. What do you think is the biggest pitfall here? Is it maybe overthinking the inferences? Or just missing the subtle clues?
That's a great point. It's so easy, I think, to jump to a conclusion based on like one word or one phrase taken out of context.
Right, focusing too narrowly.
Yeah, I'd say the biggest pitfall is often not reading the surrounding context carefully enough.
Yeah.
So the strategy for Part C has a few layers. First, skim the whole passage quickly, get a feel for the overall structure, the tone, like reconnaissance.
Get the big picture first.
Then, read the specific question. Find the relevant paragraph or section in the text that addresses it.
Okay, locate the zone.
Now here's the key. Read that specific paragraph really closely. Maybe even underline clues, words that show attitude, contrast, emphasis.
Dig deep in that specific area.
And finally, choose the option that is best supported by the exact phrasing used in the text. Stick close to the evidence.
Avoid making big leaps. Got it.
Let's try an example here too. Say the text discusses wearable heart monitors. It notes that some users misinterpret results, leading to anxiety.
Okay, a known issue with wearables.
And it adds, in most cases, doctors advise that patients not alter medications or activity based on wearable output alone.
Right. Don't self-treat based on the gadget.
So if the question asks, what does the writer suggest about patients using wearable heart monitors? The best answer, based only on that text,
Would be something like they should consult their doctor before changing treatment.
Exactly. It requires careful reading of that specific advice and making the correct inference, not just grabbing keywords like anxiety.
Yeah, you need the nuance.
So we've walked through parts A, B, and C, but tying it all together,
Yeah.
what about the clock? The overall strategy, time management is just, well, it's everything here.
It sounds like it. Especially with that shared time for B and C.
Totally. So the breakdown looks something like this. Part A is non-negotiable, strict 15 minutes, done.
Set timer, go, stop.
For Part B, with those 6 short texts and questions, You probably want to aim for about 1 minute per question, so 6 minutes total for Part B.
Okay, quick but careful.
That leaves the bulk of the shared time, around 39 minutes for Part C. So you allocate roughly 22 minutes per long passage, and it's 8 questions. Maybe leave a minute or 2 at the very end to quickly review if you can.
That sounds like a plan, but it raises a question. Does the order matter? How do you optimize your flow through B and C?
That's interesting you ask, because the source material actually mentions this. It suggests some people do better starting with Part C after Part A than doing Part B last.
Tackling the big text while you're freshest, maybe.
Could be. The key takeaway seems to be, experiment during your practice. Find the order that feels best for you, for your personal rhythm of absorbing information.
Right, personalize the strategy.
But one thing is ironclad. Never delay Part A. That 15 minutes is fixed, and once it's gone, it's gone. You can't go back.
Got it. Part A first, always.
Now here's where things get, I think, really interesting. The distractors. The wrong answers in the multiple choice options, they aren't just random. They're designed to look plausible.
The traps.
Exactly. This isn't just about reading comprehension. It's about critical thinking and spotting those deliberate traps.
You know, it's fascinating how learning to spot and avoid these distractors is a skill that goes way beyond any test.
How so?
Well, it's essential for navigating any complex information. Think about news articles, marketing claims, even political arguments. They often use similar techniques to mislead. Spotting them is like developing an immunity to misinformation.
That's such a crucial insight. It's like building a mental toolkit for critical evaluation. Okay, so let's break down these sneaky distractors and how to arm ourselves against them.
Let's do it.
First up, keyword matching. These options use words lifted straight from the passage,
Making them look familiar and tempting.
but they twist the meaning subtly or maybe not so subtly. Your strategy here: always read the surrounding sentence or context. Don't just grab the matching word and run.
Right, context is everything. Don't fall for the superficial resemblance. It's like seeing someone who looks like your friend but isn't.
Good analogy. Then there's the too broad or too narrow trap.
Yes. Generalizations or getting lost in the weeds.
Exactly. The option might have some truth to it, but it exaggerates what the text says, too broad, or maybe understates it, or focuses on a tiny detail, too narrow.
So you need to check the scope.
Right. Ask yourself, does this fully match what the text actually claims, or is it stretching it or shrinking it? Precision is key.
Yeah, we tend to do that naturally, overgeneralize or fixate on details.
Yeah.
The test plays on that. Got to stay balanced.
Then you've got the opposite, meaning distractors. These are often easier to spot if you're careful.
They flat out contradict the text.
Yep. The option says the opposite of what the passage states. Strategy. Keep an eye out for contrast words, however, although, but, in contrast. They often signal where the text is shifting direction and where a potential opposite meaning trap might lie.
Good tip. Those words are like signposts for contradictions. Easy to miss if you're rushing, though.
True. That careful reading is vital. Finally, the irrelevant detail distractor.
This one's sneaky.
It really is. The option might be factually correct according to the passage.
Yeah, that sounds right.
But it simply doesn't answer the specific question being asked, your strategy. Always reread the question carefully after reading the options. Make sure your check and answer directly addresses that question.
It's about relevance. Is this information true? Yes. Does it answer the question? No. Move on. Classic way to test focus under pressure.
We've really covered a lot of ground here, really done a deep dive into becoming a more strategic, more efficient reader.
From skimming and scanning in A to gist in B and deep inference in C.
Right. By mastering these techniques, you're not just getting faster, you're becoming much more accurate. The whole approach, it's designed to give you confidence, to tackle complex texts with real clarity and purpose.
Feeling empowered, not overwhelmed.
Exactly, that feeling of being an information ninja. So let's step back from the test itself for a final thought.
Okay.
Consider this. How can you take these deep reading strategies, identifying keywords, looking for the main purpose, spotting potential bias, critically evaluating the claims? How can you apply that toolkit to your everyday life?
Beyond just healthcare texts or tests.
Yeah. How might it help you navigate those endless news feeds or dense work reports or even just deciphering long email chains, ensuring you really grasp what's important?
And crucially, avoid being subtly misled or manipulated by the information presented.
Precisely. Because ultimately, this isn't just about passing a test, is it? It's about becoming a more informed, more discerning individual in this incredibly information-rich, sometimes overwhelming world we live in.
A critical skill for life.